Okay, I'm assuming I'm live. Let me just check. Yeah, looks like so. Okie dokie, so we have the CPI results coming up very, very soon. Let me just turn that down a little bit. And it's a case of seeing which way it goes. So, a lot going on, let's go which way. Okay, just move that. It's got a couple of zones marked out. Let me just minimize that. Maybe a little bit of touch. I wonder what we're anticipating. Right, so CPI data literally going to be 5 minutes away. I've jumped on this a little bit later, apologise. CPI Forex Factory, let's get that up. You guys can't see this right now today. So month on month we're anticipating the forecast is 0.5, year on year 6.2. That's the one I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, and then we've got the core CPI at 0.4, so I'll keep my eyes peeled on that. Now I've kind of got a bit of a range going. Let's see which range I want to bring up. Let me just minimize that 1 second. Let's see, range zone. So right, I've pretty much mapped this area out. So I would be interested, depending on the data. Look, if we come in hot, as in worse than anticipated, worse being bearish for Bitcoin, which would be that, you know, inflation is reduced and things are going down, which means people remove themselves from the risk assets and start going into safer ones like currency and things like that, then I'm pretty much going to be expecting some further down. But I would be looking at two zones. This zone I would consider a bearish outlook, i.e. we can come up to here. I would be looking to place a short in this zone. I've got them all scaled. If you've not used Teal Street yet, I suggest you maybe look at using one of these programs that allow you to really scale into orders. And then should we come down to this zone, depends on how fast we react, I'll be looking for a long position. Only because these are the zones these are the induced zones. So these are the zones where most people, most retailers will be, retail traders will be looking to long from. And I think back into the kind of top of this zone here, we've already had a peak. This is probably going to be the area where a lot of people will be putting their entries to short, and therefore their stops are going to be in and around here. So what we want to do is our short entries are really going to be where people's stops are, because that's where the stop pump will go, in my opinion. So that's where I'll be looking to get an entry for a short. In between these areas, I mean, look, you may have the idea that you just want to get a short in now if we come in hot. Usually what we'll expect to see and anticipate is that the market maker, even if the news comes in bearish for Bitcoin, will probably try to push price up to build a short so we get a better favourable price, get everyone in the belief that price is going up, and then smack the price back down. A couple of minutes away, so let's see what the news brings. Be interested to see what anyone thinks in terms of what they expect the anticipated news will be. But we shall see. A couple of minutes to go. Just maybe bring this out a little bit. What are we currently on? Currently on the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. We've got some good liquidity zones as well. Let's bring them into play. We've got liquidity just below here. Again, that's why I'm favouring that this zone would be an interesting place for a long. Kind of stop loss for me would be where these these orange areas are. But we shall see. We're a minute away, so let's go zoom right into the 15 minute now. Let's see how we react. I might also bring in what's the other program I like to use, Trading Light as well. Currently got that on at the moment, but might bring that one in. Okay, so let's see what the data says. Are we coming in hotter than anticipated? Right, let's start getting this on. So CPI month on month, look at that price. Still not come in yet. I've still not got my data come through. So 6.4 on the CPI. Oh, anticipated 6.2. So CPI has actually gone up. That means inflation has risen 0.2% more than anticipated. So let's see how the market reacts here. Let's bring up, let's see, Trading Light. Let's see what we can bring for here. Let's see what this is bringing. Let's move this across. Let's go. Sorry guys, should have this on. Here we go. So we can see right now we've got divergence. So from a CVD perspective, we've been moving pretty much up. Not so much so, I would say, in price action, but still we've been moving up. We can see right now lot of open interest, new money coming into the market. We've got the CVD going down in line with price action. So let's just see what happens here. Right now it looks like, based on the data, that it's certainly bearish news, that's for sure, as far as I can see. Let me just double check. So we've got CPI month on month 0.5, so that came in as anticipated. Core CPI came in exactly as anticipated, but the year on year came in hotter than anticipated. So still a little bit slightly down from the previous data. So it was previously 6.5, came down to 6.4, but I think they anticipated that it was going to come down a lot more, which is why we're seeing this reaction. Now, realistically, it's not. It's 0.2. So what we'll probably see is a lot of shaking out here. So if you're currently in a trade, just be careful. Don't FOMO into anything at this stage, in my humble opinion. Right now, we're not seeing too many liquidations. We are seeing a lot of open interest coming into the market, and we're seeing price move down. But don't do anything just yet, because we're not seeing any shakeouts. Let's bring Bookmap into the play in just a second. I should have had this up, but I don't. Just let me move this across. Let's get back into TradingView and let's see what's going on TradingView. Yeah, so as I say, just not really doing anything. It's just a lot of horribleness from the market maker, as anticipated. Flushed out, but I'm not seeing an awful lot of liquidations at this stage, I have to be honest. So just be careful. Now, so after the initial reaction, here's where we'll probably see some activity. So this will be the market makers trying to push price up. Now I'd be looking quite happily for an entry here. That would be nice if we want to come up to this zone. Scale from 22.90 up to 22.475. Let me just show you how disgusting this looks real quick. Here we go. Look at that. I mean, if you wanted to see, I mean, where was the liquidity? Right down here, you can see liquidity was 556 Bitcoin at this zone. Price comes right, tears away from the VWAP, comes back up to VWAP, comes back down, eats the liquidity again, and then comes back up. And let's see where we go. So we've got liquidity 471 Bitcoin at 21,630. Up at this 21,990. We've also got 300, 400 Bitcoin at this zone. So let's see if we kind of zoom out a little bit. Let's see what we look like. We've got a lot of liquidity down at that 21,300 zone. Nearly 600 BTC. So we should see. But again, we've got another nearly 550 Bitcoin down here. We can see the point of control has been around this 21,850 mark, and that's just because we've been right in this zone for such a long time, and then we've had a huge breakout, lots of aggression, lots of market orders coming through, and that's an interesting point. So let's go back to Trading Light now. Let's see what we're saying on here. Again, hasn't really done too much. All we're seeing, a few short liquidations here. Lots of new money coming back into the exchange. This is on Binance's exchange, but very, very small liquidations, which tells me huge more money coming into the market. But nothing to get too excited about yet. That's only because we had very low. Well, the expectations were 0.2, still enough to move the needle, in my opinion. But let's see. Too much is going on. This is just that kind of activity you anticipate with how markets like to move. They like to flush people out, snap it to the downside, snap it to the upside, and then move it going on. But we shall see. Got my friend Roxas in the place. Nice to see you, buddy. Let's see. It's not nice when you see this activity because the price hasn't moved. Literally hasn't moved. It's moved down. Best part of nearly 400 basis points, which is quite a nice move. But look where the price is. The price is literally where it started. It's right back into that mean reversal. So it's like, you know, if you're FOMOing in for a short because the price looks grim, well, market maker's gonna push you back out. So you think now all the people who may have went in like 50x, 100x leverage at that point, push price right down, you know, comes down to this point, of course, open interest comes in. Now what we don't know, or at least not at this stage, is that if that open interest is to the downside or to the upside. We just know that that's more money coming into the exchange. But what we do know from a pressure perspective, so this has been, let's say from CVD, you can see, you know, we've been generally moving up, and at that same point, I would probably say not so much so with, you could argue that it is moving up, but I would say there's a slight divergence in the sense that we're going down here while this is going up, which normally means, you know, bigger players absorbing that pressure in the market. So ultimately, it looks like price will move to the downside, but not without market makers shaking out some activity first. So like I always say, it's better to just kind of not play the news, but to wait, let the market makers earn their bread, and then we dive in after the fact. But for me, like I say, you know, if I come back to my TradingView platform here, I'm looking specifically, if we want to push the price up, this is where I'd be favouring a move. If it doesn't want to come here, I'm not really interested in getting into a move, because all of this zone, all of this area here, this is all round this area is the inducement area. This is the area where you know, a lot of traders will try to short from, but more often than not, we'll see that the price will shoot up first, wreck everyone who's been long leveraging, you know, it's like 25x, 50x, 100x, whatever, snap them out, get that liquidity, and then move to the downside. And you know, this is where I'd be looking for any kind of profit taken down here, which would be a nice swing move, I would say. But we shall see. It may not happen, and I'm okay with that. I've had enough experience in this, in my time as a trader, to know that patience is a virtue, and it's the key thing that we must learn. So let's carry on. We haven't really moved, have we? Let's see. You know, we've gone from, let's see, yeah, just shy of 400 basis points. Don't forget, we see multiple reactions of this news though. We see this is a retail reaction, yeah, and now we well, in just less than an hour, the markets open up. We have the brink session, and then I like to say an hour after the brink session is when the real markets kick in. You tend to see markets in UK time anyway start at 2:30 UTC, and you see a lot of kind of trapping of trading. So you see like up then down and up then down, but don't really go anywhere. Kind of creates this movement within a box. You know, it's like price does a little bit of that, you know, over like a period of an hour, and people who are long or short at this point start to, you know, get trapped, and then people who are long and get trapped, and then it's, you know, not knowing when to take profit. And then the real movement of the market, usually for me anyway, kicks off about 3:30 GMT, so it's about an hour after that market opens. So again, there's nothing wrong with trading in this zone, but just be mindful of the fact that you tend to see the moment the market's open, it will look like it's ready to move one way, and then, you know, it will start to reverse, and then it'll go the other way, and it's like, okay, well, make your minds up. But really, again, this is just all induced to get you believing that the price is doing one thing, and then it'll do the other, and then it will really find its point that it wants to go up, usually about an hour later. That's what I tend to see and tend to find. So, but this is very much a swing trade. This is not a day trade by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not aiming for this to be a day trade. This is just a zone where I'm comfortable taking a longer term trade with relative, I would say, relative risk management in that sense, not going too crazy. You know, that's got to be key. Where's our levels? We've got some daily levels. You can see right now this daily level. Let me take this range off right now. So right now you can see the daily level here, key daily level from this point, has acted as a bouncing support here a number of times. When it does break through, comes down to the next daily level, comes back up. So right now we're just around this daily level. Do we have any weeklies around this level? Well, yeah, you can see again acting as a resistance a lot, and it's broke through, and we shall see how it reacts. I think we've got a monthly, but it's, yeah, way up there, so not too much in that way. Let's have a look at our pivot points. Let's see what we've got in here. So you can see S1, I think this is currently on the weekly. Yeah, we'll leave it on that. Right now you can see way back here in, well, 10th of February actually, which was 4 days ago, we hit our, well, I think it would have been actually, well, it was support level 2. Now normally you don't find within a period of time that it goes through more than 2 levels. So, you know, if this would be resistance level 1 and this would be resistance level 2, in a week period, so this is a period of 7 days, it may break through 2 levels, and it would be this point which would return. And likewise to the downside, if it's, you know, a support level 1 or support level 2. And you can see here, you know, this was the pivot for the previous week, kind of lollygagged a little bit around that, smashed through support level 1, and to the absolute dollar accuracy came to support level 2. And now we're kind of in this period where it's like, okay, I'd like to see how the reaction happens around this pivot point for the week. I mean, if we put our, where's our range zone, you can see, you know, my area of short, and where I'm looking to short is actually right in that same pivot point range. So keen to see how that kind of moves forward. But and then in terms of where we can move down to, well, support level 2 actually, and that's not by chance, is, you know, in that kind of same zone that I'd be looking to take profit, or moreover be looking to put a long position in. So we shall see. But after all of that, you know, it's 15 minutes into the news, not really too much has happened other than a little bit of wreckage for the masses. So apologies if you well, if you just shorted blindly with no movements on that, but it's okay. You know, markets are always here, markets are always open. Apply good risk management, and it's all good. You can see the volume, incidentally. Let's actually look at that volume. It's not a bad spike in comparison, because we've been, I mean, if we go to the 4 hour, what we have been trading in is a bit of a lower volume mode. You can see here, this is definitely going down, you know, since January, which for me is usually a period of explosion to happen. So we are anticipating that we should at some point expect to see some sort of an explosion in terms of volatility. To be fair, I thought CPI was going to be it, but I think because it's come in so close to forecast. It's not really affected it too much. What I would say is if we do come in hotter than the previous, so not the forecast but the previous, i.e., you know, we came in at 6.4 I think on the for the year on year, and we came in at we were 6.5 last month, and we've come down to 6.4, but we anticipated coming down to 6.2, and that's why we've seen a bit of a bearish reaction. But still, we are seeing a downward move of inflation, so we shall see. Okay, I'm going to close this one off. I don't think I've got too much more to add on this one. You guys know where I'm looking to get an entry. One of the things just before I do go is I want to just look at my previous day high and previous day low, because what Bitcoin likes to do is it likes to clear out above the previous day high, grab the liquidity, and then move down to the downside, grab the liquidity at the previous day low. And that's the kind of what you tend to see. Grab liquidity above, flush everyone out, grab liquidity to the downside. So we may see that actually we come up, clear out some liquidity here, and then we start to push back down. So that would actually favor me, because that's what I'm looking to do in the zone. But I would need it to come a little bit higher for me, otherwise I'm just not interested. Right, but that's it really. I think nothing really to shout home about with that one. It was quite a usual, well, quite boring, but anyway, it is what it is. Right, peace out. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and I shall catch you guys a bit later.